I know, right? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Hello, welcome everybody. Let's do the. Ooh, that was very loud. Jesus. Welcome to my fourth book review. I think. Yeah, it was my fourth, right? Wait, now I'm thinking. So we did Fall of Reach. We did The Flood. We did First Strike, and now we're gonna review Ghost of Onyx. I finished my homework, but yeah, I wanted to show off this beautiful thing here. I was like, I need something in my background of my videos, or especially for these book reviews. So I bought me a helmet, a Master Chief helmet. How beautiful is that? The thing is, I'm gonna show it off again in a video that still has to come. But, you know, you're gonna be a bit confused why I did it twice. It's because that episode has been recorded before this, and I thought it was gonna go up before this. But I finished my book quickly, all of a sudden, so, yeah. But let's just jump into it. So, I had no idea what to expect from this book, because, well, I had some questions from First Strike, but I didn't know who the book was gonna focus on. And actually, I'm pretty glad it had nothing to do with Master Chief. I love Master Chief, don't get me wrong, but it's very interesting to see a full story. I think only at the start he gets mentioned like a few pages, and then at the very end he gets mentioned once. And that's it. And that's really cool. So you can focus on a lot of other hiccups. You can focus on a lot of other characters in this book. One of the most important characters is Kurt, of course. The story gets going when a few Spartans are doing a mission. I'm gonna keep it short, the beginning. They're doing a mission. Kurt gets blown into space and never to be seen again, is what the other Spartans thought, because he was, of course, missing in action by that. But he got picked up by the UNSC. Of course, the other Spartans didn't know. And when he got picked up, he was assigned a mission to, train Spartan 3s. So the new Spartans. It was very interesting because you had like a few stories about the children who later became the Spartan 3s. And there's still, I already know, like a Halo novel, there would be a lot of death. Jesus Christ, man. Sometimes the book is like, oh yeah, everything is going great, everything is going chill. And then you get a story like, oh yeah, well, 300 Spartans died there. So that happened, and you have to accept it. So yeah, Kurt, and oh yeah, of course, Chief Mendes is... What was that? Of course, Chief Mendes is back as well. I missed him, man. He's a really interesting... He's a really cool character. I like him a lot. I think the last time I saw him or heard from him was the first book, right? Like, The Fall of Reach, I think. Because he wasn't in The Flood and he wasn't in First Strike. So I was glad he was back. So then the book starts moving towards, like, the final exercise of the Spartan 3s. They were doing their, like I said, their final exercise. But all of a sudden, those Spartan 3s get attacked by something. First, they didn't know what it was. Well, eventually, you realize they got attacked by Sentinels. So all of a sudden they started attacking them, and obviously they had to go into running and hiding and fighting. And at some point, that's where my first question was answered by First Strike. With First Strike, well, Dr. Halsey shows up with Kelly. You know, when she escaped with her, well, she stole her. So she arrives at Onyx and she cries out a help for other Spartans to come and help, because they're getting attacked by Sentinels, and there is a Forerunner technology they want. And you already know, Covenant is involved in this story as well. It's for the first time I'm reading about, like, fights between elites and brutes, I think. Yeah, I'm saying that correctly. Which is very interesting. I didn't know they were fighting in space each other so hard. Yes, English. So you got a lot of, well, you got a good amount of Covenant stories as well. What I already said in the previous reviews, I really enjoy reading their side of the story, or their view on the thing that's happening. So we will move on a bit. We got Kurt seeing the other Spartan 2s again, who came in to help for the first time in 25 years or something. Maybe I'm so wrong, but I think it was 25-ish years that they saw Kurt. So the other Spartans were surprised, of course, but very happy to see him. And of course they tried to work together to eventually get to a Forerunner city where they needed to find this technology. While you were reading, you had no idea, well, nobody had an idea of what this technology was. And nearing the end, it was a real race to get to that technology first. So the Spartans with Dr. Halsey were being hunted down by the Covenant, while still having sentinels around and those things blowing shit up. So yeah, it was very hectic, first of all, because you have so many different characters and different views, and you got like, so you got the Covenant but with the Brutes and the Elites, you got the Sentinels from the Forerunners, then you had the Spartans who were working together with Dr. Halsey, Chief Mendes. And the weird thing was like that the Spartan 2s meeting the Spartan 3s, they didn't know about the Spartan 3s because it was a secret operation. That meeting was a bit weird because they didn't feel like it was right. I think that's the feeling I got from them talking about the Spartan 3s. But you know, eventually, when they were in the situation they were in, they started working together pretty well. We lost a lot of good men and women again. Like, I'm not surprised anymore. It's Halo. I know I'm gonna lose loved characters. So eventually you get to the place where the Forerunner technologies should be. And it became like a standoff. So the Spartans got there first and they tried to fight off the Covenant while still losing men and other Spartans. That was actually a cool battle. It was so well written. You could really see the room they were in and the amount of Covenant that was there and how they attacked, and it was very well written. I liked that. That was my favorite part, I think, like the end battle. And eventually, to get to the Forerunner technologies, they had to jump to a sleep space portal kind of thing. I know I'm not talking a lot about names of characters. That's maybe a bad thing. That's maybe not so good, but you know, we still have like, for the whole book, you got like Kurt is the biggest Spartan you follow, and you saw it coming. So he saves everybody, and then he sacrifices himself to blow everything up. So everybody jumped to the portal. Kurt was hurt and stayed behind to detonate nukes to blow the shit up, so the Covenant couldn't reopen the portal or enter themselves. And then I know, again, I say this every time as well, I skip so many things, probably. There's so many things I have skipped or am skipping because, you know, there's a lot in this book. I love it, but there's so many things I'm gonna miss, but I'm just thinking, like, I'm just thinking out loud and saying what I remembered from this story. And then it was a very interesting end. I'm very excited to read the next book and I hope to get some answers. When they jumped in, they didn't know what to expect. So we got Dr. Halsey, we got Fred, we got Kelly, we got some Spartan 3s. I'm forgetting names and stuff, but Chief Mendes, did I say Chief Mendes? So they're all there, but they discovered Onyx was a shield world to protect the Forerunners from their own Halo rings. So if the rings detonated, they could go into the shield world and they wouldn't be hurt. The thing is, I'm still trying to wrap my head around expressions about the fact that, so they jumped into the sleep space portal where they were protected. They were still on Onyx, but they weren't on the planet itself because the planet blew into pieces when the nukes were activated and the whole planet just was gone. But they're technically still like this, so all these persons like Dr. Halsey and the Spartans are still on Onyx, but they sleep spaced somewhere else in this shield. That's how I understand it, and that's how I hope to understand it. Otherwise, I know you guys will probably give me some information in the comments. But overall, like I said, I didn't talk about a lot of characters. I just talked about the main story and how it moved. I didn't go into too much detail, of course, because it's just that would be just too much. It's hard to say which one is my favorite so far, but I really enjoyed it because the Spartan 3s is something like newer to me as well, because I've played so much with Master Chief in the past Halo games that this is like really something I didn't. There are a lot of things I didn't know while reading this. You know, while reading The Fall of Reach or The Flood or First Strike. Those were most of the time like things I knew from the games, or things I experienced in the games, or heard about in the games. But this is something completely different, and I absolutely loved it. So yeah, if you are, you know, this is a review, so if you're watching this, you probably read it. But if you haven't already, or you just know the general story of this, and you want to read it, it's an absolute blast to read this. I enjoyed myself very much by reading this, and I hope you will as well. Of course, you know, I have, I have the next book already, you know. I'm not gonna, you know, sit down and do nothing, you know. So I'm very excited to start reading in this one. I hope I get some answers from this one, though. I'm hoping that this continues on that. But the thing is that there are different writers, and we have, I think it's Sergeant Johnson, which is, if this is a book about Sergeant Johnson, I'm so down. I don't read the text at the back of the book either. I just go straight into it. So I think this is gonna be a book about Johnson. I'm not sure, but still, I hope to get some answers from this book. This would be a story I would definitely reread because I just enjoyed myself so much. So yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up. It's gonna be a mess again of an episode, like every single book review I do. These are not, well, I think personally these are not good book reviews. I'm just sitting here saying what I remember from the book and saying how like the book goes. So, but I know you are enjoying these, and I'm enjoying making them as well. So I think we're good. So yeah, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, let me know what you think, and I hope to see you in the next book review or Halo video or something else.